If you're going to hear six-figure profits in property investments, you're going to get blown away, especially if it's the first time. That's why I'm going to share with you some data, some insights, just in case you're going to meet a property agent or just in case you're going for some course that teaches you on property investment. I've actually done research on more than 20 projects to really discover what we all need to hear first. And I'd like to share them with you in today's episode. Hi guys, welcome back. Without further ado, let's dive on to the first project, which is pretty well known. This project is in the Bishan area and it's none other than Jadescape. Jadescape has sold more than 1,200 units. It's a 99-year project and it was launched in September 2018 with a PSF with range of $1,500 to $1,800. And I've actually extracted data points from each prop. You can go and verify them. And what we can discover is that right now, it's selling at 2001 to 2002 PSF. And there are some examples, especially this, which is the biggest gain so far. The person actually bought in September 2018 at a PSF of 1,532, and he has actually sold off in March 2023 at 2,026 PSF. This is a 6.4% annualized gain and a cool $500,000 profit. Next project, Parc Esta. This project is in the Eunos area. I actually even went down to the showroom that time. And what we can learn is this project has 1,400 units. It's also a 99-year condo. And it was actually launched in November 2018. The price back then was 1,005 to 1,007 PSF. And right now it's transacting around 2,100 PSF. The best story from this summary table is actually this 9.6% annualized gain from September 2019 all the way to April 2023. That owner made a profit of $608,000. Pretty smart, huh? Just passed the SSD. Hurry up, cash out already, even though he bought a 3-bedder, which is 958 square feet. But in his or her shoes, I guess I'll also be very tempted. Then can we come to a conclusion? Maybe it's OCR, outside central region, that are the best performing projects. Maybe going to this presentation, you will be blown away by these numbers, and who's pitching to you might tell you that, hey, I know how to recognize profitable projects, and these are some characteristics. But let me show you other data points. How about something in the RCR region, rest of central region? This is Avenue South Residences. And if you're not familiar, this is around Bukit Merah area near SGH. And this project had 1,000 units. The launch was in September 2019, just before COVID. And back then, the launch price was 1,008 to 2,000 PSF. The best example is this over here on top, which is someone who is bought in September 2019 at PSF of 2,073 and actually sold off in April 2023 at a PSF of 2,418. The total gains made was $253,000 with an annualized 4.4% per annum gain. But I've actually found an interesting learning point, which is the one below. Look right at the bottom, you'll see that there was one transaction in October 2019 from the developer, and then this person also sold out in November 2022 at a PSF of 2,238 when he actually purchased at 1,820. The annualized gain is 6.9% per annum and a profit of $306,000. So why is the rate of return better for this one right at the bottom versus the one on top? I've actually done the homework. It is actually from a lower floor, a 6th floor unit. That's why the quantum purchase was lower. And even though he sold at a lower PSF also, the annualized gain was better. So buying a high floor unit doesn't necessarily guarantee better performance. By the way, the one that commanded 2,418 PSF is actually on the 33rd floor. Then how about this other project, Stirling Residences? Also a very popular project, 1,200 units, 99-year-old condo. It was actually launched in July 2018 at a price of 1,007 to 1,008 PSF. Do you see something? A $505,000 profit from this transaction. This person actually bought in July 2018 at 1,685 and actually sold off in April 2023 at 2,250. The annualized gain is 6.2% per annum. Fantastic returns, correct? Wow, 500,000 gain, 400,000 gain. Then the conclusion could be, big projects do well, whether it's RCR or OCR. Could it be that case? Because if we see this project, Margaret Ville, which is actually very near Stirling Residences, this is only a 300 unit project. It was launched in June 2018, slightly before Stirling Residences, and its listing price then was 1,006 to 1,800 PSF. From this summary table, annualized gains range from 3 to 5% per annum. Right now, Stirling Residences is transacting around 2,200 PSF, but Margaret Ville is transacting at an average of only 2,100 PSF. I'm not too sure the reason as to why they are different. They are almost the same age in my opinion and very near in terms of location. Maybe it's layout, maybe it's nearness to a mall or MRT. There could be 1,000 reasons that affect, but what I do remember is Margaret Ville seemed to take a little while more to sell. I remember seeing that showroom near Queenstown Library, sitting there for quite a long while, and my hunch was actually true because when I dig up on developer sales, after the launch in July 2018, there seemed to be a second launch in September 2019. That was when a lowest PSF was actually clocked, but more than 30 units were sold. But nonetheless, it still did pretty well for most of its owners over there. So could it be the case? RCR and OCR would do well, but CCR, Core Central Region, would do poorly. Core Central Region, is the common lingo is District 9, 10, 11 is the prime district. Those would do poorly. To satisfy the curiosity, I also want to dig up data on the particular project which I've also visited before, which is Martin Modern. Martin Modern is in River Valley, it's District 9, and it was launched in July 2017 with a range of 2,000 to 2,300 PSF. Dirt cheap, correct, on hindsight. And what we can observe is someone actually made more than $1 million. This person bought in December 2017 at a PSF of 2,317 and sold off in April 2023 at 2,943. With an annualized gain of 4.5%, he indeed clocked in that $1.085 million in profits. Wow. Round of applause. But it goes to show that projects all over Singapore, whether it's OCR, RCR, and CCR, they are examples of big profits. That's why I actually did up this presentation for you. When it's the first time you see big profits, the natural easy conclusion is that new launches surely will make money, correct? And that's where I'd like to heed some caution and give you some heads up first before you hear a pitch. And before you get there, help me smash on the like button, especially if you have benefited from this whole research process that I've done up for you. Do you realize everything I've mentioned for all these projects, there is a unifying factor for all of them? They were all launched between the periods of 2017 to 2019. Take note again, that is a time when properties started to climb. The index went ballistic from June 2017 onwards. And if you were a developer, and you can imagine developers were able to raise prices in subsequent launch phases quite easily because the index was climbing. Not just that, anybody that bought in the first phase was able to sell because the resale index had climbed and they were simply very motivated to lock in some gains. Without a bull market, some of these gains may never have happened, and that's why we need to look at some history of the previous peak in 2013. I'd like to pull up some data from Stack Homes. They've actually done a fantastic article. This article states that new launches that dropped prices in 2013-2014, how are they faring right now? This over here in this picture is the iconic Sky Habitat. It's done by a famous architect and you can claim that it's near famous schools like RI. But people who bought this project, which is the hype in 2012-2013, actually saw a U-shaped journey in terms of their profitability. You would see that from 2013, average PSF actually dipped all the way from 1,006 to 1,400 plus, and then as of 2021 has finally climbed up to 1,006 and right now sits slightly above. So what it means is these investors had to wait 10 years, 2013 to 2023 to see profits. And not just that, when you factor in interest costs, stamp duties, renovation, it's quite possible that many of them who look on paper to have made profits are still actually sitting on losses. Anyone who has given up along this 10-year journey, and this problem was not only faced by Sky Habitat, there are many examples of projects launched in 2013 that actually saw a big dip along the journey and then has only recently recovered. You can guess that each and every investor who went to these showrooms will pitch a fantastic story of roaring prices that will go up indefinitely, only to be disappointed in the subsequent years ahead. Then what about those who have given up midway in this 10-year cycle? Let me pull up some unprofitable sales of Sky Habitat. This is a quick list of people who had lost money. Very important here this segment again because usually we hear rosy story. It's very easy to assume everybody's making big profits on property transactions, but if you dig for data, you can actually see people making losses. Everybody that are boxed up over here actually bought in that launch in 2012. They paid an average of 1,005 to 1,008 PSF, and many of them exited from 1,004 to 1,006 PSF. Painful, correct? Let's scrutinize on a particular one. This owner over here bought in May 2012 at a PSF of 1,693, which does not seem crazy right now, but seems crazy back then. He actually sold off at 1,418 PSF only in December 2020. This journey saw him lose an average of 2% per year, and he actually lost $500,330. To satisfy my own curiosity, I went to dig up for condos around my region, and one in particular which I'm always very interested, Echelon. This project was also launched in 2013. I actually went to the showroom also, and what I remember back then was hype, like what we see right now in the newspapers. What I boxed out for you are transactions of people who bought at the launch and subsequently sold off in 2021, 2022, and all clocking in some losses. This one in particular purchased at 2,358 PSF back in May 2013, which definitely seems crazy right now, and subsequently sold off in March 2022 at 2,119 PSF, clocking in a loss at $107,900. But wait, do you observe an even bigger loss slightly above it? Let's zoom into it. You would realize that this person actually lost $1.4 million. You heard it right, $1.4 million even with a bull market. He purchased at a PSF of 1,691, which isn't crazy, and actually seems to have fire sold at 1,359 PSF only. This again took place in July 2022, which is not too long ago, and the annualized loss per annum is 2.4%. Wow, $1.4 million negative sale. Imagine the kind of impact to your financial journey. So all in all, let's draw some quick conclusions. Right now you see on newspaper, record PSF, good sales, etc, etc. Tembusu Grand actually sold 53%, attracting 4,000 people down to his showroom, and the average PSF clock was 2,465. And shortly after their launch, Continuum actually sold some of their projects at an average of 2,732 PSF. We have to question, buying right now today, are we paying a 10-year later or 15-year later price whereby this journey of U-shape would also occur to investors buying in at this phase? Unless the property market continues to trend upwards indefinitely. If not, I would like to caution that this is a very strong possibility. Buying in at 2,732 today, what do you expect? 4,000 PSF? I really don't know, because the person again who bought Echelon in May 2013 at 2,358 probably thought it was a good idea. Little did he or she know that he was playing an inflated 10-year later price and would have been coughing out interest costs all along in this journey. Selling anywhere in between would have resulted in massive losses. Now coming to here, let me invite you to smash the subscribe button, because looking through this data, I've actually enough to prepare for our next episode to release more findings and learning points, especially if you're looking to make a property purchase. I hope to share that with you, and being subscribed, you'll get notified when that tutorial is eventually released. I'd like to end things off with this particular condo, which is the Marina One Residences. The curious part about this project is there are many unprofitable sales. There's someone who has actually lost $562,000 already, and I think there are definitely learning points as to why a project actually is faring poorly. Just like in business, there are 1,000 ways to succeed, but when something does poorly, there are usually a few unifying points. This leads back to a previous discussion that I've made, which is this guy at the age of 27 who has bought 8 properties. He's actually invested in Marina One Residences, and if you're curious to find out some of my findings on it, do remember to subscribe and check out this previous discussion I have that might intrigue you. With that, I'll sign off from here and see you there too. Take care as always. Goodbye.